big news. Ayurcann secures manufacturing and distribution agreement with NYC cannabis brand Her Highness. Talk a little bit about this news. How'd you guys make this happen?
Yeah, for sure. We know the guys at Meridia. Meridia is a VC fund out of the US. They invest in up and coming companies, and they made the introductions a couple of weeks ago, or I guess a couple of months ago now. And we started having conversations. Her Highness is very much concentrating on producing products specifically for women's consumption in California, Nevada, New York City, and they're expanding across the U.S. They decided that we are the manufacturer and the partner to work with in Canada, and we've been having some conversations over the last couple of months. They like what we are offering, especially with the fact that we are very closely aligned with their vision to the market. We're bringing unique products that is a value proposition to the customers, and we are the first expansion they partnered up with outside of the U.S.
Wow! Congratulations.
Excellent. Yeah, it was lots of fun. Like I said, the people behind it are very entrepreneurial. They've had other businesses that they operated, and we're very proud of having that relationship set up and operating now. And we're working on products right now for them.
So you guys are an online marketplace. Now you guys are expanding into America. I saw that you just got your Frankfurt listing. Congratulations for that.
Thank you. Yeah, we're excited about going into Europe, and as we alluded to before in some other conversations that we've had, we're looking on the OTC listing as well, and the intention is to expose investors all over the world to what the opportunity at Ayurcann is.
I think that, and that's what I wanted to talk to you about next. So we talked about this before. You're listed in Canada. You're now listed in Frankfurt. So 2/3 of our community can buy the stock. Now that you guys are actually working with a company from New York City, the next perfect listing would be an OTC listing. So any ideas on when we can expect that? Is that around the corner? Is that still far away? Can you talk on that a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. So we filed all our paperwork, I think last month. And we're having conversations with them on a continuous basis. The indication from them, from the OTC specifically, is that they like to see 8 to 12 weeks, until they sort of approve the listing. So we're expecting it to be September, maybe October with COVID. Depends how that sort of gets affected. But we filed all the paperwork. The feedback that we've received from them is that we have everything lined up as they require. I think they'll wait for some more feedback from their own internal investigation. But as far as we know, and we're hoping for is a September listing.
That is huge. Now, Igal, tell us, what is the company's vision behind partnering with a company such as Her Highness? What sorts of products is the company looking to distribute in Canada?
So with Her Highness and when we set up with Ayurcann and Bazelit and Green Bee as well, we're trying to find best of breed type of operators as well as products. We don't want to bring, and we are not going to bring hundreds of SKUs into the marketplace, especially in Canada. It's a smaller market, so we're trying to find, and we are finding and partnering up with unique opportunities and offerings. So if it's specifically with Her Highness, they're specialized in the women's segment that is more eroticized, I guess I would call it. So self-care and self-help, I would say. When it comes to Ayurcann, it's more on the beauty side, facial type of thing. Green Bee is geared towards topicals that are pain oriented and service the requirements of a different segment. So everything that we bring, we try to utilize our expertise in formulations and bringing products to market as quickly as possible.
That is fantastic. Now, will these products be available solely to those registered, which I love, in your newly launched marketplace? I love the idea of the marketplace. Or will the company target the recreational market with these products?
So they're going to be offered on both. I think they're going to be quickly available on the Ayurcann marketplace. It's an internal, as you can appreciate, we're controlling everything about the marketplace as we develop product and releasing it. It's much easier for us to offer it to the various consumers. There's over 400,000 medical patients in Canada, and as we build those relationships with the patients as well as with other LPs on offering products, I think that's going to be first priority and is going to be quickly available on that on the marketplace. We are offering it obviously in the recreational space to all the boards. That requires a little bit longer time frame. It's all going to be approved. It's all going to be produced. It's just a matter of how quickly it can be brought into the recreational space. But the intention is for it to be on the recreational marketplace, the recreational space, and the recreational boards throughout Canada.
Wow, that's exciting. Super, super exciting. And I love what you guys are doing. Now, further expanding on Ayurcann's newly launched marketplace, which I love. You guys are essentially working on becoming the Amazon of cannabis, an online marketplace to serve its medical customers. In your previous press release, the company touched on the fact that you'll be launching 3 new brands in the marketplace in the coming weeks. Could you elaborate a little bit on this for us and what it means for the company?
Yeah. So right now there is, I guess, top sellers from our point of view, vapes and some tincture products on the marketplace right now. We have signed up or signing up a few other brands that are already selling into the recreational space right now on the OCS. They're going to come across Canada as well. It's going to be a discounted product or a better price product, I think, as we offer those different opportunities for buyers. So those are going to be tinctures and vapes as well. We're looking at producing over the next 4 to 6 weeks topicals, which again are going to be available from a couple of brands, including working on the Ayurcann, Her Highness, and Green Bee.
Fantastic. Been big fan of what you guys are doing, and it seems like you guys have so much news. Recently, Ayurcann announced a partnership with Ayurcann Pharma. Can you elaborate on this partnership for us a little bit and tell us what the company plans are under this partnership?
Yeah, so Ayurcann, very similar to Her Highness, Bazelet, and Green Bee. Ayurcann is out of Israel. They're very concentrated on producing medicinal products that can enhance the beauty segment of the users, of the consumers. They have a lot of studies that they've done both in Israel, I think, and in Europe. They're already selling, as far as I know, in Europe. Bringing those products and exclusive relationship that we have with them is going to benefit both companies. I think the intention is, again, like I said, over the next 4 to 6 weeks to start seeing some of these products on the Ayurcann marketplace, as well as exposing those products into the recreational space.
So we've talked a lot, and one of the big key elements of your business is that you guys have no debt. Is that correct? You still have no debt?
We have no debt. We don't intend to have any debt. We don't believe in doing it. We believe in putting our money where our mouth is. We're very tight on and responsible on how we spend money, both ours and our investors. We believe in making sure that everything that we spend goes further than anybody else can do.
Now that is very important to me. Companies with no debt are the companies that I like the most. They go to the top of the list for me. Can you now just give a little bit of an idea or a vision for the members that are watching, that will be watching even after this live interview, all over the world, what the future holds for Ayurcann Holdings, what the potential is for this company? We've just talked about the fact that it has no debt. You guys are acquiring, seems like you're making an acquisition almost every week. What's the future of Ayurcann Holdings for investors that are thinking about potentially investing in the company?
So thank you for the belief in us. We believe in ourselves as well, as you can appreciate. We are concentrating really on growing a company, especially in Canada initially. And concentrating on being a sort of a big fish in a smaller pond. as we grow, I think there's going to be a lot of M&As opportunities on smaller companies that cannot succeed or have not succeeded, have not proven themselves. I think we bring something to the table that investors can get behind. We've proven ourselves so far in how we operate, the fact that we are debt free and continuously growing. And people that have invested in us, so far have been, happy with it, as far as I know. The idea is to grow through acquisitions. I think like I said, there are opportunities. Some of the larger companies are doing it now, buying some of the smaller companies. We believe that there is opportunities for us to buy some of the smaller companies and to grow, especially in Canada. There are opportunities to expand potentially into the US and into Europe with some of the relationships that we're forming right now, and grow the company that way.
The cannabis sector has been under severe selling pressure. There was a point in time where the cannabis sector was overpriced. I believe right now it's oversold across the board. Like, cannabis is heavily oversold. What do you think it's going to take to get the cannabis sector back to where the companies are actually trading where they should be? Because to me, across the board, everything is heavily oversold. Do you think that there's going to be a catalyst that's going to turn this around? Do you think it's a seasonal thing? What's your opinion on that and why the cannabis sector is heavily oversold right now? Because a company like yourself, in my opinion, is grossly undervalued.
We also think the same way as you, that we are undervalued. I think that like everything else, is very, it was a cycle. People got excited, obviously, about what cannabis can bring. Cannabis is not going anywhere. The industry is just growing by leaps and bounds. Every study that you see, every report that comes out, especially in Canada, sales are, growing month to month and year over year. I think that what's going to happen is that I think there's going to be a little bit more of a shakeout. I think the evaluations, especially on the larger companies, the smaller companies are a little bit, less inclined to have these huge evaluations like the larger ones are. I think that investors are looking and are fed up with companies that overpromise and underdeliver. Companies that do a sale but have hundreds of millions of dollars in losses on a continuous basis, month over month, quarter over quarter. I think as more financials come out, like ours and other ones potentially, and show that that ship is getting turned around, and there is an ability for the few of us that are able to manufacture profitably, to manage a company profitably, and grow a company profitably. I think the investors are going to come back, because investors eventually, even if they go away and to other industries and sectors, eventually investors are looking for a profitable, growing company to put their money in for the long term.
What's your message to investors that are buying the stock, holding the stock, and they see all this news? And there's a question here from Top Stocks. He says, when does the company expect to begin sales in the recreational market? Do you have an answer for that?
Yeah, so we've had conversations with all the boards across Canada, and it takes a little bit of time. It's not really up to necessarily only up to us. We have the products, we have the manufacturing. We are manufacturing right now for top sellers in various SKUs, be it vapes or tinctures, that are selling into the recreational space right now as a B2B customer. For us, and the brands that we represent, there is a timeline of when you present to the boards, when you submit the information to Health Canada for approval. That's a 60-day, sometimes a 90-day process. And for the boards to order, they don't order from today to tomorrow. They try to align themselves with their inventory. So it could be 4 to 6 months until you see POs being brought forth, until you ship the product. But when you do, and the product speaks for itself, customers are buying it. It's really exponentially. It can create an exponential growth on a continuous basis. We feel that. As I said, we're talking to all the boards right now and have been. We're hoping that we'll have some more positive news and PR over the next couple of weeks to address that.
everything is about, in this market right now, is about revenue. It's like the money is just flowing into smart money. And we see the biggest companies in the world just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And it feels like all the smart money right now is heavily invested into large caps. And it seems like a lot of money has been getting sucked out of small caps and going into the bigger companies, the Apples, the Nvidias, the Pfizers, the Googles. I was looking at Google. Google's up 60% this year. Nvidia's up 68% this year. These are huge companies that just keep getting bigger and bigger. So there's a lot of money on the sidelines that just isn't investing in small caps right now. But we know that at some point, it's like a switch. If the small caps get hot, everyone's going to pour in. So for those investors that are looking for an undervalued, underappreciated, underexposed company like yourself, what's the idea or what's the expected run rate for the company? Do you have an idea of what your expected run rate is for the company this year and next year and moving forward?
Yeah, so for us, like we alluded to and we talked about, we don't have any debt. We're running a profitable, business. We have money in the bank. We have very healthy accounts receivable and low accounts payable. So we're not going anywhere. We can afford to stay. We don't have to raise necessarily a lot of money to maintain the business and grow it. The intention is to continuously and steadily grow the business. And hopefully the investors will realize that, investing in a smaller cap or a smaller company will give you the benefit of multiples, which I don't think you can get with Amazon or Apple right now.
Absolutely. I agree with you 100%. And that's why people love small caps. People love small caps because they have huge growth potential. And we have had a great track record of identifying undervalued, underappreciated, underexposed companies before they explode. And I feel you guys literally fit the bill and check off every single box. If there was a message you want to deliver to your investors before we say goodbye today, what would it be?
I think that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, for the cannabis space in general. I think that believing in a company and feeling it inside that you want to invest and support a company that you believe is doing what it says it does. Under promise and over deliver. It's what we've done from day one, and I think that came across on the multiple interviews that we've done, as well as the news releases. So if we've proven ourselves so far, we intend to prove ourselves into the future. They just have to believe and trust in working with us.
Well, thank you so much for your time today. Continue all your great work. The CEO and chairman of Ayurcann Holdings Corp. And thank you so much for your time. This is huge, huge, huge deal, guys. Once again, Ayurcann secures manufacturing and distribution agreement with NYC cannabis brand Her Highness. Once again, the CEO and chairman of Ayurcann Holdings Corp, Yigal Sudman. Thank you for joining us today, Yigal, and continue all your hard work.
Thank you for having me, and talk to you soon.
Always a pleasure. Now, guys, remember, Rich TV Live is strictly for information and education purposes. Please do your due diligence, do your research before you invest in anything that we talk about or discuss here on Rich TV Live. Invest in the best. The best is blessed, and you deserve the best. If you're not winning, you're not watching. We bring in the winners, and we bring them to you first. I think this is a company that's undervalued, underappreciated, underexposed, with no debt, growing revenue, and is doing a lot of acquisitions. So put it on your radar, put it in your watch list. I think they have a chance to be very special. If you like the video, smash the like button, comment down below, share the video everywhere, and subscribe if you're live. This is your boy Rich from Rich TV Live. Have a nice day, everybody. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you, Yigal.